A very good morning to you. This is, of course, the Chat Up with me, Jamie, right here on Relax Radio. Hope you have yourself the most amazing day so far. I'll be with you for 3 long hours, giving you the best of conversation and giving you some stuff to think about throughout the day. Now, if you're not having such a great day, well, then don't worry because we have the best of conversation coming up to keep you company and keep you pumped up so that you can be the best version of yourself today and every day. Now, with that being said, I want to remind you before we get into the interesting conversation for today, I want to remind you to download our app because it's available absolutely free of charge on iOS and Android. So make sure that you do download our app and you can take us with you wherever that you go. With that being said, we're going to be talking about a lot of diverse, I would say, topics that I want you to join in. Okay. So if you want to say hi to me or if you want to join in the conversation, all you got to do is call me up or you could hit us up on social media. That is Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We go as a Relax Radio. Now, with that being said, I want to talk about something that I feel like is going to be beneficial for every single one of us. And that essentially is about forming new habits. I've told you this before, but uh, having a habit essentially or creating a habit only takes 27 days. So if you try to do something, say positive or negative, it doesn't matter. If you do something for 27 days consecutively, it is going to become a habit and you're going to do it unconsciously, you're going to do it involuntarily. Now, habits, I feel like, is viewed very negatively because we tend to have a lot of negative habits in our life. It could be something as simple as a biting of a nails, or it could be something of a more toxic behavior that has become a habit that we engage in quite often and engage in quite unconsciously. But what I do want to talk to you about is something a little bit more positive today. I want to talk about how you can form a new habit, a new positive habit successfully. Okay. I feel like, see, we often decide at, like, say, the beginning of the year with our New Year resolutions, or when we come to a bad point in life, we automatically decide to leave the bad habits that degrade our quality of life behind. Now, what's hard with that is we'd always be like, oh, we'd stop partying, or I'd stop doing this, I'd stop doing that. Saying it is so easy, but actually breaking yourself from a negative habit is possibly one of the hardest things to do. Even if it's substance abuse, even if it's not as, huge, or it's something more trivial compared to substance abuse, whatever it is, getting rid of a habit or creating a new habit that counters that negative habit could be really, really challenging. Which is why today I wanted to talk to you about how you could form a new habit successfully. But before we go on to that, let's talk about why it's important to make new habits or to will yourself to engage in new habits. I feel like forming a new habit is always a new beginning to self improvement. We've been talking about self help, we've been talking about self improvement, and I feel like one of the only ways to be successful, to love yourself, to love the life that you do live, is to improve yourself. That is not something that anybody else can do. Yes, we have an education system for us to improve ourselves academically, but at the end of the day, it's your choice. It is your decision if you want to better yourself tomorrow than you were today. Now, in order to engage in this process of self improvement, formation of new habits or habit obviously is the first step. Now, the more you experiment with life, the better your life will be. But I feel like most of our new habits, I'm not going to lie, this is true in my life as well. Most of these new habits that I start, say waking up early or meditating or yoga or exercising, whatever it is, most of these new habits last only for a few days, or if you're lucky, for a few weeks. And what's funny is sometimes we don't even get to starting. Now, I want to remind you that your net worth to the world is usually determined by what remains after your bad habits are subtracted from your good ones. So, I want you to try again and never quit because of failure. We've spoken about this before. I've told you how failure shouldn't be a prerequisite for you to stop doing something you love. Failure is just part of the journey. I've told you how people that are successful, we've spoken of so many people that are successful that started out with failure. You must learn from past mistakes in order that you could do better the next time. And I feel like each time you make a resolution or each time you make a new habit, you are reminding yourself of that goal. Now, if you're having problems with identifying your purpose in life, if you're having problems with identifying what you are supposed to fulfill during your life here on earth, one thing that can help you get things back into perspective is to make yourself a new positive habit or engage in a new positive habit. I feel like at the end of the day, that is going to help you remind yourself of the goals that you have in your life. And listen, you can't make any progress or you cannot progress without having these goals. Therefore, I want you to remember to always strive for a better self. It makes yourself better, and it also, I feel like at the end of the day, when you make yourself better, the world around you looks so much better automatically. So, exactly, or what are the steps that you can do in order to follow this positive habit? Okay. First of all, life has a huge impact on some on which you have failed in the past, but once you finalize your resolution or a habit, I want you to sit still for a few minutes. If you think to yourself, I need to incorporate this new positive habit in my life, first of all, make that decision and make sure that that decision has a stronger base. And when you confidently and consciously make that decision, I want you to sit still for a few minutes and think about it. Think about if it's rational, if it's practical, and think about if it's actually going to help you succeed in life. Therefore, I want you to remember to think twice before working on the same habit as last year. Now, if last year you tried to say wake up in the morning every day and you tried to make that a habit in your everyday life and it didn't work, well, then this year I want you to do something different. Maybe say you are not capable of waking up every morning, which is fine. You just want to wake up earlier. Something like that. Just make sure that you think before you instigate a habit and check why you want to do this. See what the goal is for you to try to incorporate this positive habit in your life. Now, okay, here are some pointers that I want to share with you a few to help you form a new habit. Okay, first of all, I want to remind you, do something only if you want to do it. We live in a world where we are pressured by society, where we're peer pressured into doing things that we don't really want to do. And we start doing these things and we end up, well, not really wanting to finish what we started. So the real and lasting motivation, I feel like, comes from within you. Suppose you were impressed with someone and you decide to do the same as this other person, form the same habits as this other person, but it could be this quick found and easy lost motivation. Check if you really want to do it for yourself or you just want to do it to show the world, to post an Instagram picture or post it on social media. Your habit is only going to last if you have more focus on your internal rewards rather than your external rewards. Secondly, if you want to form a new habit successfully, believe that you can do it. If you are starting with doubt, it will lead you to failure. First, give yourself enough reasons to justify why you can do it. Then, take your passion of success should be higher than your fear of failure. And I feel like that passion of success is only fulfilled if you believe in yourself and you think that you're already halfway there. Because technically, if you start, you are already halfway there. Thirdly, I want to remind you, we've been talking about failure, but I want to remind you to take responsibility for a failure. We have this very romanticized notion of failure, and we tend to sweep failure under the rug. We tend to ignore failure. But what I want you to do is it's okay if you fail. It's perfectly fine if you fail. It's a normal human a reaction to things. But what I want you to remember is to take responsibility of your failure. If you try something new and you're told by someone, that you are going to fail, it's okay. But figure out why you failed at it. Figure out what you could do to ensure that that failure, that exact same failure, doesn't happen next time. So take responsibility for your failure and never quit in the middle of something. So that's basically it. You need to have patience if you're trying to form a new positive habit. Believe in yourself and trust me when I say you could definitely accomplish whatever you set your mind to. With that being said, I am Jamie. I'm going to be here with you for quite some time. So make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio.